The Indian Removal Act was a tragic event for Native Americans. Join us today as we learn more about the Indian Removal Act. In Scene 1, we explore the question, why were Indians removed?
Indians have always wanted more and more land, and they didn't seem to care much, if any, if someone already lived there. Native Americans' land was good for farming and settlements, so Americans naturally wanted it. They didn't consider Native Americans as equal to themselves, so most didn't feel guilty about it. One of the greatest evils to which they are subject is that constant pressure of our population. To guard against this evil, there ought to be the strongest assurance that the country given to them should be theirs.
President Andrew Jackson pressured Congress into passing a law that allowed the Indians to be removed. In fact, doing this was his first priority as president.
What good man would prefer a country covered with forests and ranged by a few thousand savages to our extensive republic, occupied by more than 12 million happy people, and filled with all the blessings of liberty, civilization, and religion?
Native Americans felt pushed around by the white men. They felt that their rights were violated and also did not want to leave their homes and businesses. They also didn't want to adjust to new land either.
Now the thought of being compelled to remove to the other side of the Mississippi is dreadful to us, for we have, by the endeavor of our father the President, become too much enlightened to throw aside the privileges of a civilized life.
Although most Native Americans did not support the act, a few natives did. Supporters of the Indian Removal Act felt that during the removal, middle-class Cherokee could rise to power. They formed the Treaty Party and signed the Treaty of New Echota without authorization. This treaty stated that they agreed to be removed.
Scene 2. What was life like along the trails / fighting back?
The Creek Native Americans were not going to just leave. They fought back. In the end, they were captured, though. And 14,500 of them were led to the new Indian territories against their will.
They also resisted. Instead of fighting, they sued Georgia. They won in 1832, but the court ruling was ignored, and they were removed anyways.
I will eat and drink with my white brothers, and will accept friendship and good usage from them. It is but a little spot of ground that you ask, and I am willing that your people should live upon it. I pity the white people, but they do not pity me. The great being above is very good and provides for everybody. He gave us this land, but the white people seem to want to drive us from it.
In 1838, the Cherokee were first put into stockades before they were removed. The stockades were prisons. They were cramped, dirty, and diseased. Women and children were abused there, and their food was stolen by soldiers. 1/3 of the deaths during the Indian Removal Act occurred here.
On the trail, Native Americans were treated like animals. The winters were harsh, and the summer sun blazed against their skin, but they were still forced to walk on with few breaks. Soldiers didn't even care if they died with pneumonia, due to the conditions.
When they were moved out of the stockades, the Cherokee started on their path. It was an 800-mile trail that took several months to travel. They traveled in groups of about 1,000 people. Around 18,000 Cherokee walked this trail of tears. They suffered from disease, hunger, and harsh weather, including snow, heat, sleet, and rain. Most had to walk all day without shoes, but the elderly and sick got to ride in wagons. Around 5 people die each day, leading to a total of 4,000 deaths.
I fought through the war between the states and have seen many men shot, but the Cherokee removal was the cruelest work I ever knew.
Move! Now! Long time we travel on way to new land. People feel bad when they leave old nation. Women cry and make sad wails. Children cry and many men cry. But they say nothing and just put heads down and keep on go towards west. Many days pass and people die very much.
Scene 3. Life in the territories, then and now. You have bought a fair land, but you will find its settlement dark and bloody.
Life in the territories was a struggle. Native American tribes within the territories often fought each other for land, and they didn't have enough tools and supplies for everyone. They were also very hungry because most of their food had spoiled or was stolen on the way there.
Even though there were struggles, the Cherokee established a capital city, Tahlequah. There they built a courthouse, a hotel, schools, and stores. The most popular jobs were producing salt and raising cattle. A while after the Native Americans began to settle, the government established boarding schools for the children. At these schools, children had to work, learn English, and practice Christianity. They had to completely separate themselves from their Native American culture.
I must learn about the birds and the rocks and the trees from books instead of daily interaction with them. This is what the white man says I must do, and I have no choice but to obey.
Let all that is Indian within you die.
Territories today are called reservations, and farming is the chief economic activity there. Manufacturing also provides some employment. Jewelry making and wood processing are popular jobs today. Despite this, reservations usually have a terrible economy. They have the highest unemployment rate and the lowest average income in America. They also have the least education and the poorest health in America, and their homes are often inadequate.